What is a pawn majority? Have you ever wondered how a simple pawn can turn the tide of a chess game? One key concept that can make a significant difference is the pawn majority. So, what exactly is a pawn majority? In chess, a pawn majority occurs when one player has more pawns than their opponent on one side of the board. This can happen on either the queenside or the kingside. Understanding a pawn majority is essential, especially in the endgame. The main idea is to create a passed pawn. A passed pawn is one that has no opposing pawn on the same file and can advance to become a more powerful piece. When you have a pawn majority, you increase your chances of creating a passed pawn since you have more pawns to support each other and push forward. Now, let's talk about why a pawn majority is strategically important. When you have a majority on one side, you can use it to attack your opponent's position. This can help you gain more space on that side and potentially weaken your opponent's pawn structure. However, the effectiveness of your pawn majority will depend on the overall position of the pieces and the safety of your king. Typically, a queenside pawn majority is seen as more advantageous. This is because advancing pawns on the queenside can be less risky than on the kingside, where the king usually resides after castling. If both kings have castled kingside, a queenside majority can create a passed pawn more easily. The opponent's king may struggle to defend against your advancing pawns. In practical play, you can use a pawn majority to set up long-term strategic plans. For instance, you might aim to create a pawn majority during the opening or middle game to prepare for a favorable endgame. This involves maneuvering your pieces to support your pawns and advancing them at the right moment. When evaluating a pawn majority, consider the overall position on the board. Factors like piece development, control of key squares, and the safety of your king all play a role in how effectively you can use your pawn majority. Additionally, having doubled or backward pawns within your majority can reduce its effectiveness. In the context of positional imbalances, a pawn majority is one of several strategic tools that can influence the outcome of a game. Understanding how to create and utilize a pawn majority can significantly improve your chess skills and help you succeed in various positions. So, the next time you are playing, keep an eye on your pawns and think about how a pawn majority can work in your favor.